Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan Kem, and welcome back to Smalltalk. This is the Smallville Retrospective Podcast. This is going up Thanksgiving week, so for all of our American viewers, have a happy Thanksgiving. We hope that you spend quality time with your family and have some delicious food while you're at it. But we've got a few episodes to cover, including the mid-season finale, and wow, the mid-season finale. But we'll get to that. First up from 3D Movie Cinema, it's Jacob Collins. Jacob, how you doing?
Doing fine. So let me ask you this, Matt. I'm really glad though, by the way, that Matt, we got you on. I mean, it was such a hard getting you here, because Matt, I know you've been so busy. I mean, first, I mean, I know Matt we were supposed to do this Thursday, but Matt had to go see Gladiator too. So I'm really glad that
Collins,
Matt made
Collins,
time for us.
behave. But Matt Wyatt, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I can't wait to get into these three banger episodes that we've been dying to know. Now that Ryan knows the main villain reveal in that mid-season finale, I'm excited to get into that one as well.
I was
Ryan, would you have
closer
been
than
mad
I
if it was
thought.
the clone of Lex Luthor?
And but his doomsday speculation, that was way more like true accurate. Like, wow, he really guessed it well. Even though
I
some of
was
his guesses were wrong, but then he got into the point with doomsday, like, yep, he was right. And
I
we
was
try to
closer
play it
than I
off. We were
thought.
trying to play dumb.
That was like, oh, that's like I said, I accidentally when I was talking, I said Doomsday.
You
Yeah,
accidentally name dropped Doomsday by mistake. Like, oops.
hopefully that
Well,
went over Ryan's head.
I mean, it did. I had a feeling, but I was still shocked. And I mean, spoiler, I really love the mid-season finale, but we will get to that. But if you like this video, leave a like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications. And yeah, this train keeps on a rolling. So let's get into it. This is season 8, episode 8, called Bloodline. Acknowledge it.
Where are we? We are not on Earth.
Boss, we're gonna be fine. The crystal is reprogrammed to trap me here.
I don't want to die, Clark.
Kara?
Welcome to hell.
Smallville, all new next Thursday at 8, 7 Central on the CW.
Clark receives a crystal that sends him and a visiting Lois to the Phantom Zone, where they run into Kara. Kara tries to open a portal for Lois before it's too late, but Zod's wife, Fayora, manages to escape in Lois's body and proceeds to go on a rampage through the streets of Metropolis. So we get the Phantom Zone and we get Kara, so those are two pretty sizable returns, and Lois gets to turn evil, well, possessed, sort of, kind of, but Zod's wife comes and, well, plants the seeds for what's going to happen in the mid-season finale with Doomsday. But Collins, what did you think of this episode?
First off, when I first saw this, I really enjoyed it, and I love 89% of this episode. The only 10% I don't like, well, I would say, yeah, the 10% I don't like is basically, I don't like the fact that the crystal that's supposed to activate the fortress, it sucks them to the Phantom Zone when it makes no sense logically how that would be possible. That's the only thing I had an issue with. I'm like, really? And there's like one scene where Lois, when she's possessed by Feyor, she goes, and it's just like, I'm sorry, you can't be back here, man. And then Feyor goes, please, he's my son. I'm like, in what world are the Kryptonians supposed to be like all nicey nice? Wouldn't she just go, knock her, go, that nurse goes flying across the room?
Maybe she's not trying to draw too much attention. She's not very destructive than one of Zod's followers who were when we saw them in the fifth season. That's probably my guess.
No, I'm saying, you think Feyor is not the one that we see in season 5, the one that,
No, no, no. The other two Kryptonians were very more destructive when they came to
yeah, yeah.
Smallville.
Okay, I thought you were saying that's Feyor. I'm like,
But
what?
she's not. She's playing it smart and not being so reckless and not causing too much of attention. But anyway, but getting into your point about the flaw about the crystal of how he gets zapped in the Phantom Zone the moment he touched it. My speculation, I could think it could have been Lex because who else sent that crystal to his place? No return address. And one question I will say that bothered me is how he managed to control and activate the alien technology to the crystal that zapped him and Lois to the Phantom Zone. That part didn't really make any logical sense to me, that I will admit.
He is Kryptonian. I would imagine those crystals can only be activated by Kryptonians, so there is that.
Or what if Jarrell did it? Because what if he just put him there in the Phantom Zone to get Kara out of the Phantom Zone? I don't know. I could be wrong about that, but I'm just speculating out of my ass.
I mean, we have seen that Jor-El is like not winning any Father of the Year awards, so that is entirely possible.
I wanted to say that the Fiora name character, it's not the first time we meet this iteration of Fiora. We meet up with another version in Man of Steel. Zod's
Also,
followers from Man of Steel named Fiora, the same name.
Also, that is actually if you watch if you yeah, and then the comics, Fayor is the like like the his follower, one of his follow like his like like and if you
Yeah,
watch Superman in the movie, she's named Ursula,
yeah.
but that's because they changed it and because they thought Fayor sounded too hard to pronounce, they changed to Ursula. But really it's Fayora, and so that this is actually the first time Smallville actually did a comic book accurately.
Mm.
And they do play, yeah, they do make her the wife of Zod, yes, in this one instead of his follower. But she is a follower too. I'm not gonna give a spoiler. That's spoilers for later, but like, yeah, she is like, yes, she does 100%. She is a follower and a mother of Doomsday and the wife of Zod.
They definitely changed it up. I mean, yeah, there were parts of the mythology of the creation of Doomsday stayed true because he was technically created by Kryptonians to be the ultimate destruction and destroyer, the one who can actually kill a Kryptonian and actually dying and evolving and keep coming back and more stronger and more powerful. They stayed true to that, but except for the one thing that they changed was they were created by Zod and Fiora because they were unable to have children.
Which I'm not gonna lie, there's a contradiction later coming later. You remember what I'm talking about, Matt?
I think I know what you're talking. Oh yeah,
Y-
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, no.
yes, I'm
No.
talking about that
Well, we'll
contradicts
get there.
that.
We'll get there. We'll get there. But I know exactly what you're talking
Yes.
about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
What I'm saying, there's the showrunners, the new showrunners kind of contradict themselves in the writing a couple of times.
Yeah, basically they did. Yeah.
God, it's like,
Well, I even when I first watched that without giving away too much, it's like, wait, hold on, what?
didn't we just have a
one thing I'm getting pretty sick of with this show is the whole like main important character learns something about Clark and then immediately unlearns it. Like it's getting cartoonish. Like the only thing missing is the penguin from Madagascar going, "You didn't see anything."
You didn't see anything, right?
Getting contrived and tiresome, but it
also
is what it is, I guess.
also there's a couple things that I'm gonna say because I mean the most part I like. There's a lot of I'm gonna say the negatives first. There's
Mhm.
no way no one's going to mess with Lois and Clark. No, like I hated the line that Lois says,
You
"No
didn't
one
like
is
that
going to
line?
mess with
I
Lois
don't
and
know.
Clark."
I thought that was pretty good.
I'm
I don't
like,
know.
that sounds like a cartoon line. That's not like a real one.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you're
No one
probably
is going to
right.
mess with Lois and Clark, and I'm just like, oh.
I just think that the way he delivered it didn't sound cartoony, even though on paper it sounds stupid on paper. But I thought Tom Welling did it better than most. But maybe that's just me.
Yeah, also, there's no way Feyre was not going to kill Tess. Like she goes, "You're lying," and she just runs super speeds away, and I'm like, in what world?
You killed a fucking staff guy, one of Tessa's staff, in the fucking office in the computer room.
It's like literally, she just Tess, I'm not going to hurt you because you're not a day player like him.
And she gave her a raise. I'm like, what? She woke up with no memory. She acted like a completely different person. Like there's gonna be, and you gave her a raise?
She
What?
basically the was Bill Murray and Scrooge, where the guy comes in with a shotgun trying to kill him. Bill Murray's like, "I'll give you a raise."
He's like, hey, I'm not gonna piss her off. Like, fuck. Okay, I'll give you a raise.
No, it's like that part in Ted where Ted is like, "I've got your wife's box on my breath," and he's like, "We need guts around here. You've
I'm
got
promoting you.
guts.
He's like,
You're
shit,
hired."
shit.
Like
Like
something like that.
I mean, the funny part. This is an off topic, but like Ted too. The we're crossing the line where he gets fired is, oh, you're not an American citizen. I'm like, you let him say all this horrible stuff about you, your family, and do all this horrible stuff around work. That's not okay. But yet he's not an American citizen. That's crossing the line of termination. That's where you draw the line at. That's like,
What
what?
else? What else can you say but
And also, Tess
America?
has a habit of keep breaking into some people's place. Always does her B&E routine. No fucking lock and door key. Not even Oliver will fucking just waltz right in by the end of the episode. Apparently, Clark was like, apparently everyone has a fucking key.
What
Oh,
show have we been covering for the past year? Like,
Except there's
hello?
no security guards at his place because The Luther mansion should have had more heavily guarded security to guard the fucking place and everyone waltzing right in.
Matthew Wyatt, what show have we been covering for the past year? Like you're just picking up on this now. Like every building in this show has the security of Saran wrap. You just go
Like
rid.
Clark, I understand Clark. I will give like the Clark's door being open and everything because Clark was there at his house when he got sucked away.
That's true, yeah.
When Clark got sucked off, him and Lois got sucked off.
But she also broke into the fucking ISIS Foundation with the door was open. Oh boy. And that it gives you the okay to come in.
I know ISIS has like other names, but just hearing that out loud in this show just hits different to me. Like watching in 2024, when I hear ISIS Foundation, I'm like, uh-oh.
Well, they did not know it was going to become. They even said the
No,
showrunner
no,
said,
I know, I know
terrorist
that.
organization.
I'm just
No, he's saying it's
watching-
funny now hearing this now in 2024. It's just funny.
Exactly, exactly.
Imagine you had skis called Al Qaeda in the 80s, and then it's like, well, I didn't know I didn't know they were going to become a terrorist organization.
Or Corona. Or fucking Corona drink. Now that we call it from COVID-19, the coronavirus and shit. Yeah. Something like
Like
that.
I'm sick with Corona. Meanwhile, the Corona beer company was like, we had nothing to do with this. That wasn't us.
Funniest
wasn't
thing
us.
I've ever seen was in 2020 when the Flick Pick went went pandemic shopping, and he saw the Corona beer and goes, "It's all your fault, Corona. It's all your fault." And he just gave me the beer. It's all your. I was like, I died laughing, hysterically laughing about that because I thought that was so funny. And I was like, which I will say, I do like though. I do like the fact that that Tess and Chloe were in the kitchen, and Chloe was like, "A bird, is that it?" And he goes, "Yeah, him and Lois are going shopping." I thought that was really funny.
I thought it was funny, like all that supercomputer in your brain, and that's the best you come up with. Could have just said it was a B&E break-in or something.
Even Brainiac was like, "I had nothing to do with the bird analogy. That was stupid." It's like
That was like not
that
me.
was her all the way. I didn't say none of that.
I didn't say shit.
Okay,
Brainiac
that right
was
there.
like
I'm
a
like, a
bird.
bird, really?
Really a bird.
I was like, I would have literally said like someone threw a rock at Clark Kent's house, because he said, I was
Just some
like,
punks pull the fucking stunt prank. That you could have come up with that better excuse, better than the fucking bird.
I was like, Clark, really, Clark, Clark is, the Whitney, the Foreman boys, not the Foreman boys, 'cause he's dead, but like, someone down the road, those teenage boys, they go cow tipping and Clark stopped them. So they threw rocks at him. Clark says that would have made more logical sense. Like,
That would.
I'm like, well, that's actually happened a lot in Smallville. Look at it. Also, this episode kind of inspires the plot of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow comic.
Oh yeah, I was literally about to bring it up because I just watched this episode of like 20 minutes ago, and the more I watched it, the more I'm starting to see, yeah, it was definitely inspired by Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow.
I'm
And I
saying
think
like
that
the comic book came out later.
the comic book came out later after the show. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So if Ryan, you're ever curious how the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow movie is going to be like, just watch this episode of Smallville, and that kind of is the idea.
Because the way that James Gunn was describing her character, she's more fierce and more jaded. She's not like the goody tissue Supergirl character that we saw from the Arrowverse. They're going for the more jaded character who have seen a lot of rough things, and she saw her home planet Krypton getting destroyed, and everyone she knows are gone, and she's stranded on a distant planet.
Our only litmus test for Supergirl in theatrical form is that awful one with Peter O'Toole that we got, so the only way to go is up from here.
I mean, to be fair, who gives a shit about Supergirl in like in that movie? That movie. Okay.
Oh yeah, the Helen was Supergirl
I
movie.
mean, like,
I've
is
never
anyone
saw
really
it.
watching that?
I've never seen that movie.
To be fair, it's like, you know what? I feel like I'm glad that we're getting two different type of Superman and Supergirl movies, because I would have been so pissed if it was just the same Superman just with a female. I want to be different. I like the fact that they're like, oh no, this is kind of like, she's trapped in like this, type of Phantom Zone place, and she has to defend a little girl and kill, like, it's like Conan the Barbarian, but with a female in a way, or
Yeah, it's more of a science fiction. And
it's kind of like, it reminds me of the movie Riddick. You know Riddick?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely like Riddick.
It's just like the movie Riddick.
So she's basically going to be like more of the Riddick figure
Yes,
in
she's
this
really
Woman
Riddick.
of Tomorrow.
And I'm like, that's what I said. This is kind of like that.
I've seen some of the comic book still shots. It looks very dark and like more of an R rated. It kind of looks R rating. It's
I
for that comic
honestly, I
book.
think Zack Snyder really should be the director of this movie because he would just knock it off the block.
No, I think he would have
Oh
done a
dear
great job
Director,
and
God.
not
crushed it.
writer.
But
Director, not writer.
no, no,
Dear
no,
God, Collins,
no,
let's not
director.
get
We
that
don't need him as a
started.
writer. But I think he doesn't really have right now the best relationship with WB at this moment for them to want
Isn't
to hire
he? Isn't
Zach.
he like? Isn't he the like the? Isn't he directing a 300 TV series? I read
I
that
think
last.
he's probably no. I think he's becoming. I think he became one of the writers of the 300 TV series.
Which he honestly, that right there is perfectly because everyone liked his 300.
Oh yeah, his adaptation from the I think was it from Frank Miller who did the
Yeah,
graphic novel?
Yep.
Yeah, he did a really great job of staying true to that, and it
I
was so incredible to watch.
I love 300. I even like 300 Rise of an
me
Empire, and
too.
no
I
one.
think.
It's not that bad. That prequel sequel thing wasn't all that bad.
I think honestly, people just like. I think really a lot of people were disappointed one because Zack Snyder didn't direct
Yeah, that's
302.
true.
And honestly, a lot of it was like the whole movie, like, well, the first 300 was really special. This one felt like they were just copy and pasting and nothing add, nothing real. And I think Zack Snyder even said, if I was directing it, I would have done a different kind of style. There was a couple things I would have
Yeah.
done differently. And
But I think it's just because they want to stay consistency to the tone and style for what Zach did in the first movie. And I think they wanted to carry that on forward, even though it was very copy and paste. But they just wanted to continue that style and not try to change it up a bit. And I'm sure that Zach would have done a better job if he were to be the one behind the camera. But I was fine for what I got. I just wish they would have given us a little bit more.
the only thing is, I really like, you know what? And I hope that the third, I know he said he wrote a third movie, which was about Alexander the Great. And it was a gay love story that he said that was kind of, he said it was a third movie, but it was like, he said, I think one thing the big studio was they weren't mad that it was a gay love story. They were just saying that it was too different from 300 but he said this is because he followed Zack Snyder said he followed the line the story of history in Greek history because he said Xerxes. They're like, where's Xerxes? He gets killed in the first 10 minutes. And I'm like, that's what happens in Greek history. Xerxes does not get killed by Spartan. He gets betrayed and killed, and then and then another character becomes another person, another king becomes king, and then his wars with Alexander. That is literally what happens in history. He said we can't change history. He said with 300, he said I stayed true to 300. That's why he said the one thing he did was with 300.
Yeah,
I
he wanted to stay true to the story from what Frank
the
Miller had done with
history
the
of
graphic
yeah
because it
the
was
Greek
because the
history.
graphic novel is literally like a reimagining of the 300
Yeah,
storyline.
and that's what they were mad that he changed. They're like, oh, we wanted like can't you have
I mean, come on, do you
Alexander
really
fight
believe in real
Xerxes?
history that they were fucking shirtless and all fucking bodybuilding muscle and go to war? Are you
Like,
really bought into that?
if you
Apparently
read
they have a bunch
anything,
of fucking packing protein.
if you read anything about the Spartans, you will know that they were absolutely like war horses. Like they were built for that stuff. But even then, like 300 just took it and like just enhanced it to like the nth degree. But like reading about actual Spartans, like I have, and I'm no expert, but I read a lot. Like you read about Spartans
Nothing
and
wrong with reading.
yeah, there is nothing wrong with reading. But but you read about Spartans and you just go, wow, these guys were intense. Like just
They were
intense.
the
They would just
baddest
kill the baby.
motherfuckers
They
in
saw a baby
Greece.
looks weak. They would just throw it into a pit. You're like, well, that's not
But
strong
all
enough.
but make no mistake, the Spartans were the baddest motherfucking warriors in Greece
Oh
history.
yeah.
Like they
Oh,
were not to be fucked with.
I love Spartans so much to where like one of my favorite games is Assassin's Creed Odyssey because I just like playing for
Oh yeah,
Spartans
Odyssey
all
was
the
it
theme.
was pretty much a 300-esque if
It
you really
is.
think about
Oh,
it.
you even see like a cutscene of Leonidas's death from 300, but it's not
Did
from
they
the movie
did they
300.
do a fucking cutscene where you kicked them off in the fucking pit or something? Did they
No,
did something
no,
similar to
it was
that?
you see like the 300 death because that happened in history in Greek history,
Uh-huh.
and so basically Leonidas, you see him get killed like with the arrows, just like in the movie 300, and I'm like that's cool, and they even have his grave site where you're like this is where it happened, and I'm like that's cool. Also, the only thing I was expecting, I was kind of bummed though because I'm like this looks nothing like the Zack Snyder movie. The scene like in the looks nothing
My
like the Zack.
my favorite part of this episode, though, has to be the scene with Davis, where Davis stabs himself. And Jacob, this is from your notes, but when Davis stabs himself and he realizes that, like that realization that he's not normal is like just the fear that like just rushes over him. Sam Witwer just, he's just the best.
It's so ironic that Davis doesn't mention to Chloe that, hey, your cousin was acting weird, and apparently she is my mom. Like, what the fuck is going on here? He's acting like nothing happened when he's around Lois, when doesn't bother to bring it up to Chloe. But I think he was all about keeping it all to himself because there's a lot to unpack of everything he just have heard, and seeing him die and come back to life, because that just shows you that he is the Doomsday character, and every time he dies, he comes back and evolves and becomes stronger and powerful. That's what he was made for.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the character in the comics too. It's like remember, and I even a man is Batman versus Superman. When Doomsday gets hit by a nuke, it just makes him resistant to nukes, and I'm like,
Yeah, he
that is
keeps changing,
literally
and
like
also his appearance keeps changing and evolving, but we never really get a chance to see in his final form every
which
time he
that to
dies
me
and comes
always
back.
angered me. That angered me. I'm like Zack Snyder, you piece of shit for not doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I do agree that they brought Doomsday too early on, especially in Superman's second movie.
I don't mind
Ish.
that. I just don't
I
mind the
just wish
fact
it.
that
I
he
know. I
just
just wish they could have just waited and built it up and for his character involvement
he
as
looks like
Superman. But doing the depth of
he looks
Superman,
like
it's
the
like
troll from Lord of
you
the
literally
Rings.
made him. You literally made him like the Jesus figure character, where you've seen the birth of Superman, then the downfall, like Jesus, like the crucifixion, then the return of the rebirth of Superman in the third movie of Zack Snyder's Justice League. That was like the resurrection thing with Superman, which
I
I
do.
know they did in the comics, but I felt like it was just a little too soon to do this
Well, you know what?
already.
I'm gonna disagree with you on that. You know why? Because in Superman Doomsday, that's a whole introduced super new lore of Superman, and then Superman dies in that movie, and then he comes back within that movie. Like,
But also,
like
yeah, I understand that, but you didn't execute it well. And the problem is, you had the whole world shitting on Superman nonstop. He hasn't fully earned for the world's trust as Superman. He's only been Superman for 2 years, like between Man of Steel and BVS. But and everybody's mourning and cry for him when most of the people in the world were fucking shitting on him early on in the movie. Batman was out there to try to kill Superman
all right,
early in
I'm
the
gonna
film.
point out an analogy that Matt's making. Okay, okay, imagine this, and I hope that nobody. I'm not trying to be. I'm politically neutral on this. But it would be like if Donald Trump dies, and then and then everybody's like the whole movie Donald Trump. There are people like, oh, like forget him, he's an idiot or he's an evil person, whatever. And then he dies, and then people are like, oh, that was so sad. He said, "What? We've lost him." And then there's pictures everywhere. So where did he go? All this stuff, and just like, and I'm like that's the kind of analogy where it is because Superman, the whole movie, they treat him like Trump. They're like just sitting
No,
there
they didn't
going,
really treat him like Trump. They just treat him as like more of a threat to the world. That he could be a potential threat to the world because he's an
that's how
alien
they
god.
treat Trump.
That is not like Trump. He just made himself the most hateful man in the world for many reasons. Nothing to compare to Superman. That is the worst analogy I've ever heard.
That is a good.
It's not the same circumstances.
Superman's like, listen here, okay, listen, Batman. He says is a dog, okay. I shot him like a dog, okay. Listen, okay, all right. We're gonna listen. When I'm Superman, okay, I'm gonna go in there. No one has saved the world more than I have, Lois. Okay, I have the more saves, okay, than Batman. Okay, I have saves. You don't have saves. Okay, do you not have saves? Okay, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do though. Okay, I'm gonna take the wall. I'm gonna build a wall around Batman's Gotham because it's a shithole country anyway, and Gotham's a shithole country. Metropolis is better. We all agree. They said we're Superman makes it thrive. I could literally see a press conference like that. I would love to see a super Trump.
Oh
Me and my
God.
Super
friend Elon, we're going to buy MSNBC after we're done taking out Batman. Yes, that's what we're going
yes.
to do.
We're
So
gonna take over the Daily Planet.
Lex Luthor's like, I have Starlink now, and let me tell you something, okay? 2 + 2 = fuck you. I was like,
Well, well,
give
we
me the
do have
odyssey.
a we do need to get to Abyss,
All right.
so let's
But
put a bow.
let me all right, let me finish this notes on this, okay? I will say I do like when she hugs Davis and she goes, my son. Davis just looks like, what the hell? Is she drunk or something? I thought that was funny. And I also like the Phantom Zone. You see the Phantom Zoners and everything. And Oliver's line, I love Oliver when he said, where's Lois and Clark chasing fire trucks again? I'm like, as if like that's what they
Like, have you
did.
checked the planet? I guess they're chasing fire trucks. Like,
I'm
that's so
like,
fun.
you think
That sounded a little bit of Saturday morning cartoon dialogue. Now that sounded a little bit more Saturday morning cartoon right
I just
there.
thought that was so stupid. I thought that was so
Did you know
stupid.
how crazy it was that we see a different side of the desolate wasteland of the Phantom Zone? We saw a river of blood
That
that we
was so
never.
dumb. That looks so dumb.
I thought it looked really good. I don't give a fuck. That looked fucking dark as
I
fuck.
honestly
Seeing
was
the
gonna put
blood
that in
of
my notes.
River of Blood near the fucking
It
desolate
reminded me of the scene in
wasteland.
Ghostbusters 2, the River of Slime. It just reminded me of that in Ghostbusters
But this
2.
one's more vivid shit right there.
But I also I liked, but yeah, and
In
I
a
also
dead
liked
corpse. And we saw a Zoner dead corpse.
it. Just yes, that looks like a PS2 cutscene. Blood Rivers. I do like Oliver Green breaking into the mansion with Tess there and him shooting her with an arrow. I thought that was really good too.
That was funny. I actually liked that. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, but other than that, I think this is a good episode. I really enjoyed it. I love seeing Feora in this episode and Kira coming out of the Phantom Zone and Clark and Kira teaming up and everything. And yeah, this was I thought really sexy this episode.
All right, Jacob.
I had
10.
I would say I would say eight. Eight's a fair grade, but 8 out of 10 shares.
Okay, Matt, what about you?
Yeah, this was a really good episode. I completely agree and echo what Jake is saying that we finally get a chance to see the return of Kara after several episodes of throughout the season had been absent, and finally seeing her reunite with Clark was great. And her leaving and her discovering that the Kendor city exists and that it's like got away from Krypton and she's trying to find it, and that they had to find some kind of excuses for her to be written out of the show. But I thought her final goodbye with between or her and Clark was very emotional for me, especially when she has to go on her own path because she doesn't belong in this world. Because Clark is always belong in this world because that's the only home he knows, and he's here to inspire mankind. And I thought that their little final goodbye was very touching for me. So I'm definitely going to give this a score an 8 out of 10.
I'm gonna go a little higher. I'm gonna go 9. Like Sam Witwer just bringing it like always, and that scene.
Everyone's
Oh,
Sam
dude,
Witwer.
he could do no wrong.
I mean, literally. I mean, this dude literally. Oh, and I can't say it now, but
I
next season,
did love the stuff that he's discovering of more about his origin because he's so desperate to try to find his birth parents, but his records has no records of him being born anywhere. He's been bouncing through foster homes and schools.
Mhm. And that's why I like him so much. He's Doomsday, so I mean the mystery is
it's
solved
kind of like
there.
split personality disorder, like Jekyll and
Yeah.
Hyde, essentially.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
Or
Dr.
Hulk,
Jekyll, Mr.
or the
Hyde.
Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, that's more like the Hulk, really.
Like
I
he's
was gonna
just sits.
say he's like James McAvoy in Split, but the Hulk analogy works even better.
Yeah, because it's literally
Don't
like
make
that.
me angry, bro. I will eat you.
He'll just tear you to shreds.
It's literally the line in Incredible Hulk is literally the
Yeah,
line
you
that should have
don't
been
make me hungry. You
Don't
wouldn't like
make me
me when I'm
hungry.
hungry. He fucks up in that Brazilian language. He fucked it up so bad.
I'm not
It's
gonna lie,
like, wait, that
that
didn't
is
sound
the
right.
funniest line in that movie. I started laughing every time.
I was
Don't make me
dying.
hungry. Like what? The guy just goes, huh?
It's like,
Don't make me
huh? What the fuck?
like, is he? I try to say he's a cannibal.
Well,
Oh my
let's
God.
let us now move on that pleasant note to season 8, episode 9, called Abyss.
What if every memory of everyone you love and everything you know about the world around you
Jimmy, what's going on?
vanished from your mind?
I've forgotten almost everyone.
Who would you trust?
I don't trust anyone but you.
Smallville, all new episode next Thursday at 8/7 Central on the CW.
When Chloe begins having memory loss, when the essence of Brainiac begins replacing her memories with Kryptonian codes, Clark decides to use the Crystal of Knowledge to reconstruct the Fortress of Solitude and ask the spirit of Jor-El for help. Meanwhile, Jimmy begins to worry about Chloe's well-being, while Davis, disturbed by the knowledge that he may have alien origins, begins to become drawn to Chloe. So this is Chloe and Jimmy and all of their bullshit.
And there was much rejoicing.
Yeah.
You didn't like that?
Not really, no.
I like how he's Ryan.
The way he's giving that Jess,
I
I was like, what the fuck?
No, he's doing the Trump dance.
That's a Trump dance?
Yeah, he's.
I wouldn't call that a Trump dance. I feel like that was a little different.
Or Bill Maher actually. Everybody kept doing. All the NFL players are doing this, like the Trump dance on their field. And he goes, "Listen, okay." He says everybody keeps talking about this, but I'm just gonna tell you right now, the Trump dance looks like he's jerking off 2 guys at once. Okay,
That's literally what the fuck I was bringing up with Ryan. Like, what the fuck are you doing? A jerk off hands gesture? Like, what the fuck is happening right now?
I was like, it's like this. The funniest part is he's playing when he's doing that dance. He's listening to YMCA. That's that makes it even funny.
Oh God.
It's like he's like Trump's like, listen, this is what's happening. YMCA. It's just like in the '80s at Disco Club 67.
It's
But
bad enough. It's interesting. It's bad enough the YMCA song has a lot of subtext there, but Trump doing that just does not help. But this
he's
is
not
the
helping
week.
his case at all either. It's like
No,
No.
someone needs to tell him. Actually, better yet, probably shouldn't because it's too funny. But as
he
far
looks
as
like he's
Abyss
jerking off
goes,
stupid.
this was the weakest of the three for me. And Chloe and Jimmy and all of that is not as annoying as Clark and Lana, but like they're literally about to get married and they're like throwing Davis in there as a love interest too. I'm like, people, like, come on, we're
I
almost at the
agree. No, I
line.
definitely agree about the love triangle with Davis and Jimmy. I thought that was stupid. Like, why are we adding more love triangles again? Just to add more dramatic tensions, conflict? Like, come on, get we stop with the stupid shit like this.
And then having memories get replaced. I'm like, didn't we
I did
already
I
do
did
this?
like that whole part where now she's now starting to lose all the memories of part of her past to add to slowly have Brainiac take over as her host.
I
Because of
just love
putting all that data in her brain. The one in the effect sequences was so much of a fucking ripoff from Matrix ripoff visual from a
yeah.
visual standpoint. When we're seeing a bunch of data Kryptonian symbols and we see the Doom, if the effects look very Matrixy.
You know what I
No, but
really thought was
I love how in the flashback they got someone that looks like a spitting image of young Chloe, like middle school age Chloe, but
Yeah.
like middle school age Clark looks exactly nothing like Tom Welling. That
He
was
does not
hilarious.
resemble to him.
and
He
neither
looks
one of
like
them can
he looks like
act.
a fucking baby kid child with a baby face. He's literally 1 year apart from fucking Tom Welling's age in the pilot episode of Smallville. Does
Like
that
Maybe
look
Tom,
like he looks like he's 30 while this guy looks like he's actually at that age of 14?
like bless this kid's soul, he was trying, but when he walked on
no, he
screen,
was
I'm
not
like,
trying.
whose
His acting
man
was
is this?
his acting was so stiff.
I'm gonna tell you right now, this kid, literally, they're like both of them. Like I put it in my notes. I forgot what I said in
I
my
mean, I hit
notes.
the shit on the child actor, but goddamn, did they grab him right off the street and was one of the extras on sets like,
The
hey,
child actors playing Clark are awful. Like literally, they bring. Then also like you literally, they're like, hey, it's
at
like
least the younger at least the actress who's playing younger Chloe is actually acting.
And then
Yeah.
also this breaks continuity as well in this episode because she goes Clark's into Chloe, and I'm thinking, didn't we establish like 6 seasons of like Clark is not into Chloe?
Well, to be fair, they first met, and he brought up that story to Lana by the second to the last episode of the first season. It was showing you the context that she kissed him for the first time, like she was my first kiss. If you go back and watch that episode, it kind of makes sense why they want to show you the context of the
But like him
flashback of
like
how they
into
first
Lana,
met.
like literally they're like, oh, I know you want to do this all day. I'm like, no, Clark did not. Clark has no like he thinks of you as a friend, okay?
Like we
And it's
have
like
established that Chloe,
No, she was already into him the moment they first met. No, he wasn't, but
if
she
he was, they
was.
would be dating, okay?
He's
I'm
the one who
sorry.
laid it out on him for the first time. And she's like, hey, let's get that out of the way and be friends. She put herself in the friend zone.
like we've
Which
established
makes
that
no sense.
Chloe is into Clark and not the other way around. It is very much a one-way dead-end street,
Clark's
literally.
like, whenever she said, literally, Clark would choose Jimmy before he chose Chloe. I'm like,
Did you say Clark would choose Jimmy before?
yes, he
What?
would. He would
What?
absolutely choose Jimmy Olsen because he has no chemistry with Chloe, and he has no like his
Well,
interest.
no,
He literally
they have chemistry. What are you talking about?
he would rather be with Jimmy Olsen before he would be with
No,
Chloe.
he
So,
just sees her more as a sister than more than a friend.
yeah,
Than more than
Exactly.
like
that. He
if he had a
treats
choice
her
between
more like a
kissing Chloe or
sister.
kissing Jimmy, he would kiss Jimmy
She'd be like the younger sister that he never had.
No,
because
but
I mean, like,
then this whole episode, it's like Chloe and Jimmy are planning their wedding and nothing is going
it's
right. And then
Brainiac
Davis,
gaslighting Doomsday the whole episode. That's the whole thing. Is what it is.
It's pretty much that. Yeah,
and
exactly.
and
And
then
also
like Davis,
all of her memories of her past close to him are gone and erased by the time you meet up with Davis. The one thing that she only remembers is him. And that's a big mystery. Like I believe that yeah, it was definitely Brainiac who programmed to have emotional connection to Davis.
Also,
then
the thing I put
Dave,
on my dislike notes, but it made me laugh though. is that Brainiac is literally just every time Chloe says something like, "Oh, remember this or remember that," Brainiac just is just like just is just literally fucking with Chloe and just
It just
takes it
seems,
away
yeah,
from her, wipes it
I mean,
away.
he's literally gaslighting Chloe
He's literally
in
gaslit the
Doomsday.
whole episode. He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, remember Clark?" She tells Clark, "Remember
That was
when
a
I
little
saw you?"
creepy that we see when her memory is about to get erased in the beginning of the episode. We see Jamie's faceless. That got a little bit of a horror right there.
Yeah, and then Davis walks in, and it's like a three-way between Chloe, Jimmy, and him, and I'm just like, Serenity now! Serenity now! I'm just like, what are we even doing? Why are we even doing this freaking triangle again?
Even with fucking new showrunners, they always have a reason to have another love triangle. But that's what happened.
I
I
do
mean,
like
they
the
will. I
fact
mean, they
though.
will admit with the original showrunners with Al Goth and Miles Miller, if they were to do a show like this today, they would not do a love triangle today. Because I
That
think
was,
it was
but that was the WB standard at the time. Love
that was
triangles.
yeah, all the way up to the
Buffy and
CW.
Angel did it.
Vampire Diaries, they've done it too.
Dawson's Creek did it. Seventh Heaven even did it.
Like every TV show soap opera with the WB, fucking CBS, every
That's like the
television network,
mandated
they
rule.
always had to find, even when you tell a coming of age story, they always have to find a fucking love triangle to build up the conflict and the drama.
I do like that Brainiac was wiping Chloe's memory only to bring her closer to Doomsday and for Clark to set him free. I thought that was really well done because it's like the whole episode is like Brainiac wiping Chloe's memory only to bring her closer to Davis and for Clark to set Brainiac free. That's really the whole reason he
And
did this.
that one of my favorite scenes is when she mentioned about seeing him catch a car for the first time, and then she made an impact on the world. And now that she knew everything about him and becoming partner in crime, I thought that was a good moment in that episode. And now we finally get a chance to see him now finally rebuild the fortress. Now it's officially back, and Jarrell's back.
Legit, my favorite scene in this episode is the ending where the fortress gets corrupted by the soul of Zod and everything
No,
in
no,
the
No, that was
so
Brainiac. That was still
oh
Brainiac. The moment that he extracted the liquid out of Chloe's
your
body after
son
trying
is
to heal.
destined to fail.
Your son is
James
destined to
Masters'
fail.
voice too.
That was not James Master's voice. They was just some another actor, but they couldn't get him on board to
I
voice
thought it was James
Brainiac.
Masters.
No, because you would have seen that in the credits at the end of the episode. That they would have, or they would have credited in the
I could have
opening of
sworn.
the opening of the episode. But they didn't get James Masters. That was someone else voicing Brainiac at the end.
So what?
So now that the Brainiac has corrupted the fortress, and he's now going to try to raise some fucking havoc by raising Doomsday.
no, but this is a bit
Yes,
of
it
a
did. It
mixed
says it's right
bag.
here. It says Brainiac came back and cameoed as the voice in season 8 uncredited.
I don't know. It just didn't. It didn't really sound like him.
But that's James Masters. It says. It says right here in Google. It says James Masters voiced Brainiac in Smallville season 8 in an uncredited role.
Yeah, he
Okay,
probably
fair.
got. Yeah, you're probably right. I think that might have been. I don't know if it was a new dialogue or they just probably just used some of the dialogue that they had to like shuffle up. I don't know. That's the reason why he's uncredited in that episode.
That
I don't know if
literally,
I don't know if that was a new dialogue that he brought into the. I think it might have been unused. I think it might have been an unused ADR thing that for the
James Masters
dialogue.
probably was the easiest paycheck ever. He's like, all you gotta do is come in and say one line and that's it. It's like, all
Maybe.
right.
I mean, there has to be a reason why they didn't credit his name in the episode.
Well, probably because they didn't want you to see that James Masters is in this. I mean,
Oh yeah,
they
that would have
also,
been that would have been a spoiler. Yeah, you're probably right. But why did they? I don't know if
if
they
an
did it. I don't know.
Arrow,
What about the end of the episode and the rolling credits? Wouldn't they credit his name by the end and not the beginning? If they don't want
well,
to
I
give
mean,
away
if
spoilers.
here's the thing though, Merlin in season 2 of Arrow, because Merlin dies at the end of season 1.
Yeah,
When they
yeah,
show him back up, like he was never in any of the credits in the beginning or the end of the credits, and they
yeah.
kept that as a secret. So they basically, and it could be because it could be a lot of things. It could be because sometimes the credits leak out and stuff, and so
Yeah.
that way to produce prevent like people from like the press knowing. So
Mhm.
it could just be whenever like they send these episodes out, just nowadays. They literally will they'll tell the press, don't say this is person's innocent, don't say nothing. But usually, spoiler episodes, they send out like Arrow, for instance. Like even I said, John Burlman was like, nah, 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 nah. My name wasn't in the credits, so you didn't know. Like when he
Mhm.
showed up as Merlin, And that's mostly, which the
Well,
only
they
thing
have, but also this coming to your point about the name not showing it, not revealing any spoilers. They never show the credits of these legacy Marvel characters in Deadpool and Wolverine, not until the very end of the credits when the credits started to roll after it's been revealed.
yeah.
So they could try to keep that a secret, especially with Spider. Wait, they didn't do any opening credits for Spider-Man No Way Home. They didn't do any of that.
No. No, they just literally put the logo Spider-Man
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Like,
Well,
Mhm.
oh,
we do need to get to the
okay.
mid-season
I
finale.
just get,
So
get I got one more point I want to make. I do like though that Brainiac was. I do like the fact that yeah, Davis and Jimmy scene about Jimmy's line, like he says, like when he's talking about takes care of her, and he goes, "That's what I'm trying to do." Like Jimmy looking all tough and everything. I thought that was great, and I thought that was great. But the only thing is, I did not like was like Chloe and Davis's bullshit, the love triangle. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
And Brainiac, and also I thought the symbol was dumb for Doomsday because I'm like, wouldn't it just be a star because or like a cross like a cross shape because that is literally the symbol that's on his chest throughout all the Superman mythology. So wouldn't the Doom symbol for Doom be like the cross shape, like the giant star shape? Like that would just to me, I'm like, why'd you have to create a new symbol? Everyone knows when you put like,
They got to be original. They have to be original with the
that to me,
shit.
I just felt like that was too dumb because like everyone knows Zod it's just a Z. Like, I mean, that's the only
Yeah,
thing I think.
it's literally a Z.
Like, I don't think you have to go like, and I think that's what the original showrunners were doing Doomsday. I think they would have probably did it differently.
Yeah, they probably
Like, I
would
think they
have.
probably would have put the star for like, hey,
But I did like the fact that Jimmy wanted to take it into his own hands to help Chloe, his own fiance, and not having someone closest friends doing it for her. He wants to be the guy. He wants to be the alpha male here.
all right, well, we need to
I'm
get
sure
to the
you want to be the
mid-season
alpha male.
finale. So let's wrap things up here. Collins, 1 to 10.
This is my least favorite of the three. I would probably say about like a 6 out of 10.
All right, Matt.
I really enjoyed it, and I agree that it is the weakest of the episode, but it's not a terrible episode. It's still an enjoyable to watch, and it's building up to the mid-season finale. So yeah, I'm gonna go a little bit higher and give it a 7 out of 10. It was a solid episode.
I'm going 5 out of 10, and all five of
Wow,
those
you
stars
did
are
not
going.
like it that much.
All five of those stars are going to the ending, which legitimately made me go, "Whoa!" The rest of it,
Doomsday is coming.
whole
Doomsday
lot
is
of
coming.
whole lot of nothing really, and just I had a full body reaction to yet another love triangle in this damn show. But oh man, we'll talk about full body reactions I had when we talk about this mid-season finale because
Oh
great.
yeah, I was waiting for that, and I knew you're gonna love the episode, but I know you're gonna be fucking frustrated and pissed the fuck off to see this shit.
I was waiting
Let's
for Ryan's like, well,
I
here
was
goes.
waiting for him to throw shit at the TV when he was watching it. That would have been fucking
let's
hilarious.
He
well
got
let's
excited by one thing and then he got upset by another.
Yeah.
it doesn't kill my enthusiasm for this mid-season finale, but I mean, oh boy, but I'll save myself for that. This is season 8, episode 10 called Bride.
It's a day of love,
All I want is to marry the man I love.
a day of friendship.
Oh my God, Lana!
It's a day no one will ever forget. Doomsday. Smallville. All new episode next Thursday at 8, 7 Central.
Oliver gets a step closer to finding Lex, but Clark refuses to help for the time being due to Chloe's special day, while Lois finds she has a special feelings for Clark, who has a surprise or two waiting for him at the wedding reception. So I'm gonna tip my hand and give my score off right now because despite what happened, what happens and who the surprise return is, I'm giving this one a full 10. I loved this episode with my whole heart, and it really all comes down to how it starts and how it ends because the episode starts and I mean Jacob wrote in his notes, but we were both on the same wavelength. Tell me you've seen Cloverfield without telling me you've seen Cloverfield, but I don't care. I loved the intro of this so much. And then it all wraps around and comes full circle to where we're in the darkest timeline now, and Doomsday is officially here. I love this episode so much. I really do.
Yeah, dude, that was a crazy banger mid-season finale when we see the Doomsday in his form. and it's not done in CGI. They've used
No.
practical bodysuit, but they didn't put Sam. But Sam Witwer admitted
Yeah,
that in
it's
the
a
interview
bodybuilder.
he's not in the actual Doomsday costume. It was a bodybuilder, body double to
I
wear the
think it's the
Doomsday
same
costume.
guy who did Schwarzenegger in Terminator Dark Fate, who did the
Maybe.
CGI.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. Yeah, and I love the design of Doomsday, how terrifying he looks.
Yeah.
They don't make him look weird. They never try to use CGI at the time, kind of like they did in BVS and Superman and Lois or Krypton, even though that Krypton looked fucking amazing as Doomsday. But this one, I'm glad that they went for the practical
Yeah, they
standpoint
said
for
the
this
reason why
character.
they put him in the shadows, the reason why they wanted to keep him in the shadows the whole time was two reasons. One, they were trying to build him up. You know, they didn't want to, if you see the monster, like they say, it's like Jaws. If you see Jaws, then you know that it doesn't make it as scary. You know, when you have to build the monster up, you only see the fin or you only see like the tail or like the side eye. You never see the full shark until the end of the movie. And so they said they wanted to kind of build him up, and they said also he looks scarier in the shadows.
But it was kind of interesting that they wanted to go for the found footage in the beginning of this episode, but prior to the intro, kind of trying to do the found footage Cloverfield style from what Ryan had brought up, which it was literally a little bit more of a Cloverfield until you see the present day in real time without seeing the found footage style, which pretty cool
Clark, it should have
to
been called
see.
Clark Field. That's what it should have been called.
Yeah, that would have
No,
been a
no,
better
no, no, no.
episode.
Chloe
Doomfield.
Field.
How about Doomfield?
No, Chloe Field.
Chloe.
There you
Oh,
go.
that's the
There you
one.
go. That's perfect.
That's the one.
Chloe.
Perfect.
Then people have
But
been like, okay, you changed like two letters. Jesus. And then like, and then I'm like Chloe Field. Like,
Dude, Doomsday was not fucking around. He was
no.
fucking wreaking havoc, literally.
I like how Clark tries to punch him and he throws Clark around across the
Yeah,
room.
he just fucking backs him and tosses him out like a fucking shoot, like a
I like
fucking.
how, and then he kills the camera guy, which I'm like, why are you
He
recording
fucking
this? Run
murdered the
away.
camera guy. Poor guy.
He's just recording this going,
I felt
this is my
bad for this.
Pulitzer.
I
This is
felt
my
bad for the
Pulitzer.
cameraman.
Like
He's like,
this
Jimmy told me to,
opening, this opening is incredible, and then the closing is incredible, which I'm gonna find the name of the song. I saved it for a purpose.
fast, don't take your love away from me.
Thank you. That's why I have co-hosts, so when I don't have stuff in front of me, they can come in and
Please
come in and
don't
say,
take your love
But also,
away
seeing the reveal
from me.
of seeing the reveal at the end of the episode was Lex watching and spying on
"Oh
Chloe
my
and
That
any
God,
had
other.
me.
that made me so happy." And I'm please don't tell me, I'm not sure where this is going, and I don't want to know.
No,
But
no, we won't tell you where it's going, but I will tell you
We
that
will ask for predictions in a
but it's not
second.
gonna, but we already know that that's a body double playing Lex, and you're not gonna actually see Michael Rosenbaum as Lex in the show because we got to remember that he left the show after season 7.
I know a man can dream, but seeing that
But they
bald head,
still found it, but they still found a way to write around it because we know that Lex is still
I
alive.
mean, I'm not gonna lie. That was the first time I ever got excited for someone's bald head before. I'm like,
Yeah,
that's
you seen the
Lex.
bald head, you already by the time you see the bald headed figure at the end of the episode, you know exactly that's Lex.
It shows
the
that
great
Lex is alive and he's getting down to business. He's watching this like, okay, I gotta get down to watching the alien
He's
attack.
slowly like in the fucking shadows trying to pull the strings.
Also,
yeah,
Lex.
the greatest bald head since Stone Cold Steve Austin. But Collins, you were saying.
No, I was just saying I like how he's getting down to business, like where he's like, okay, all right. He's more worried about like watching this video, which I'm like, that's amazing response time. How he got that handed that tape, you know. And I'm just sitting there like, it made didn't it look like it did. Now watching it as an adult, you're like, this movie it looks so Hollywoodish. You're like, you know, like wouldn't he just be like, you know, why is he like sitting in a dark room
Yeah, but what you
with a
brought up, like, how
spotlight
did
on
he?
his bald head?
Yeah, but also, how the hell did he get a fucking video camera? Where did he get it?
Where did he get that?
Did
Yes.
he? How did he get? How did he manage to arrange someone to get it for him when he's been sitting in the chair, try to in bad injury?
You know, and also I did also like I do like that Oliver is hunting Lex down, trying to kill him, basically for Lionel killing his parents. It's kind of like revenge. Like Lionel
Yeah,
killed my
killing the
parents,
sons of
so
the
I'm trying to go
sons
after
of the
Lex.
father. He's basically like doing the
Yes.
killing the sons of the father thing, and Clark knows, and he called him out on it. It's like, are you really doing
He's
this
like,
for
yes,
me? Or are
I'm
you
going to
doing this
kill
for
him.
your
Yeah, I
own
can't kill
personal
Lionel.
vendetta?
I'm going to kill the son because he's just as evil as Lionel. Like
Yeah.
it's like if I can't have Lionel's head, then I'm gonna have.
But you see how frustrated it was when Clark walked out of that device. He was just fucking on fire. Like he is so desperate for revenge.
Yeah, I do also like that, you know, and I also like, you know, Clark and Lois almost kissing. I thought that was pretty great because you're like,
Yeah, because
oh,
I thought it felt right. because it made sense that they're going to eventually end up being together and they have strong feelings for one another.
And I like at the end how Doomsday takes Chloe and sits her in the fortress, and
Oh
Brainiac
yeah.
absorbs her, uploads into her, and she's
Yeah,
Brainiac
now
is in
that
Smallville.
she's been taken over by Brainiac the moment she entered the fortress, that was part of the plan.
Like this is all Brainiac wanted. He's like, I need to possess, which I'm like, he already did the work, so he's like, yeah, look, now it's time for Chloe to put out. He did all the work. It's time for Chloe to
Okay,
put
the
out.
way you say "put out,"
No,
that
I'm
just
saying,
sounded weird. That just sounded weird right there.
it's time for Chloe to be like his vessel. You
Yeah,
know?
that's
Yeah,
But
I did all that work. Now I put made the dinner. Now it's time for her to put out. That's an expensive ass dinner.
but on a truly depressing note, Lana's back. I have no mouth and I must scream. Like, what are we even doing here, people? Why is she back?
It's like the
I
guy from Full Metal Jacket. Like,
I'm
what
back
the
from Street
fuck is that?
Fighter.
What the fuck is that?
He's like, I'm back from Street Fighter, Legend of Chun-Li, and it
That
flopped. So
the moment that we're gonna see like Chloe, no, Lois and Clark about to make out until it got ruined the moment, until Lana had to fucking drop in and fucking ruin the moment.
Lana, and he's like,
Lana, what?
Lana. I might as well threw Chloe. Might as well threw Lois down. Get away from me.
The one thing
Like,
that I don't know
fine.
if we mentioned this in the last episode that now Chloe doesn't know Clark's secret anymore because he erased the part of the memories of what Chloe knows about him. So that was a little bit different direction that we were expecting.
I'm pretty sure the showrunner's blockbuster all this week was Cloverfield, and
had to
that's
be.
like 100% sure. And at least at least they're stealing from the living Goth. Hey, if you don't have any ideas, go
They,
get some blockbuster.
but also
tapes,
they
watch
just
them.
can't. Even with the new fucking showrunners, they can't seem to not get rid of Lana in the show. They always keep just when you thought it was out, they pull me back in.
Lana gets killed by
No
Doomsday.
offense.
There, I solved it for you guys.
But also,
Like,
but I want it, but without spoiling anything, we know that she's not like signed on as a regular. She's signed on as a guest star, and she only signed on for 5 episodes of the season.
well, thank God for that, because I'm
Only
just
5.
They
like
should have did a whole season, but like she probably wanted more money, and they're like, nah, we're not. Nah,
like the Lana
you think?
vortex
I think
is real. It's a real thing, y'all.
you know what I actually Oliver. I do like that. The things I don't like is one besides Lana is Jimmy's superstition turned out to be true. I thought that was so stupid. Where he made the superstition about Davis. Or
No,
no was I'm
it was
sorry.
the when he sees the bride, and that you're
Yeah,
not
that
supposed
superstition turned out to be true.
to. The whole. It turns out it came true. How ironic.
Oliver isn't going to worry about this random guy that's behind a curtain that looks like he's like 40, dressing like a 20-year-old. Random guy knowing Clark's secret and also who this guy is. Like literally, Clark is like, "Don't worry, bro." He says Wi-Fi, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not how that works.
No.
Well, when it comes to Green Arrow and his old go gadget tech, it's anything's possible.
Well, it wasn't even connected. How would
I think it's
from a router?
I think it's like I don't think it's like the Wi-Fi router. I think it's a little mini MiFi.
It wasn't even connected. I didn't even know the password. It like makes no sense how that be.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
I also didn't like.
But also, it's a fictional fucking tech that fucking Oliver invented. It's a go gadget shit going on.
It's like that Carlos Mencia joke where it's like he says where it says you believe a giant monster and everything exists, but yet the hardest part you find to believe is about someone downloads a Wi-Fi router. It's like no, but my thing is like it was like the Transformers joke where he goes he found
I think the real world logic went out the door in season 8 at this point when there's so much fucking future tech existing in this world. Now they're leaning toward more fantasy realm.
There are like I'm saying like there is some stuff in this that we're like okay. But like just like I mean, there's like a joke in Carlos Mencia did for Transformers where he said his cousin found the movie unbelievable, and he goes, "What part did you find unbelievable?" And he goes, "The part where the Shia LaBeouf could not find his glasses." And he goes, "So you believe in a world with aliens that could turn into cars and all that, but the part where you draw the line that's unbelievable when a man can't find his glasses that he's gonna sell on eBay. That's where you found that's the hardest part of the." I'm like, yes, that's where he's the hardest part of the movie. I'm like, to be fair. I'm not. I kind of agree though. Like if you're selling something on eBay, why? There's no way you would lose it.
No one's gonna buy. No one's buying a shit.
No one's gonna like literally
zero fucking bids. Like who's gonna buy that fucking glasses? I was gonna
A
give a
pair of
shit.
glasses, like I can go to Dollar Tree and get a pair of those glasses for $2. Why would I buy some old man's glasses?
The
Some old
poor
man's glasses that were over fucking 200 years ago. Like nobody gives a shit about that.
the poor kid just wanted $2,000 and three A's. What would
He wanted
Jesus
a
do?
new car.
To
But
be fair, to be fair, selling a pair of your grandfather, I'm pretty sure wouldn't his parents be upset about that? Going like,
Selling your grandfather's fucking like a valuable.
the parents of Sam Witwicky from Transformers, do you honestly think they care?
I
oh
don't.
no.
I think they're the worst parents of all time. But yeah,
Ryan, would
Exactly.
you be mad if your great great grandson sold all your running medals?
Uh, Probably, yeah, but I think I'd be dead, so I probably wouldn't care.
Like, it's like you earned those
he's like,
medals.
hey,
I
if I'm
mean,
dead, I don't give a fuck.
I mean,
You only live once. Memento mori, remember you will die.
as long as they don't sell them while you're alive, right?
But as far as Bride goes, I think this is the darkest mid-season finale since Shattered, where Lex ends up in the asylum. Like this just has the darkest ending, and I love it. I love the spirit of it so much. It sucked that like I can't imagine watching this as it aired because it's like the last image you see is
January
like
15th
the
or
last
January
image you
20th.
see.
January 20th.
Wait, you mean the mid season?
Yeah, January
The
20th when
mid
they came
season
out.
didn't happen until like December. That was like in December when that aired in that episode.
No, this episode was November something, and then
Yeah. And
January.
then it was in January, and they returned for the mid season premiere.
Yeah, Barack Obama
November
was president. It was George Bush was president. George Bush was president whenever this ended, and then Barack Obama was president whenever this aired.
November 20th to be specific.
Hmm.
January.
But I just cannot imagine. I cannot imagine like watching this live and then like that ending happening and be like, "Merry Christmas from the CW." I'm like, "You motherfuckers, you."
Imagine
Yeah,
sitting there
but the
thinking
good
about this
the good
episode
thing
a
you don't
lot.
have to suffer that. I had to suffer through that shit through its television run. And we're like, fuck, I have to wait like a couple of months for this
And it was a
new
good
episode.
ending too. I'm like, all
But it
right,
was a cold
Smallville's
ending. That was like a cold ending of that mid season.
that was so good though. I was so happy when that happened.
I was
I
like, I need another episode. Like I fucking hate
like
waiting.
every if you think about what happens in that episode, okay. Said Lois said Lana is injured. Her leg is fractured. Lois and Clark are farther apart than ever now that they were getting close, but now they're further apart than ever. Jimmy's
Yeah,
on life
but the
support.
real reason why she's leaving was because now that Lana's back and that he's
Yeah,
too much more distracted from his ex, his first love, and that she's probably not going to stand a chance. So that's why she wanted to be distanced from him.
Jimmy's on life support. Chloe, Doomsday took Chloe, and now Brainiac is possessing Chloe's vessel. And then on top of that, Lex Luthor is literally like back. You know, like that's like the biggest cliffhanger is what I saw.
Yeah, that was a great cliffhanger.
Well, y'all know my score. It's a big old 10. So, Collins, what about you?
No, it's a 10.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, it's simpatico. We're going for the 10. It's a best of the 3 episode. Great mid season break.
Now, out of all the mid-season finales, how would you rate this?
This is near the top. I would say the darkest is Shattered. I mean, you can't top like seeing Lex in a straitjacket soundtrack to Hurt by
That
Johnny
was
Cash.
great. That was fantastic.
If they
The
would have
ending.
ended on Jonathan's death as the mid-season finale, but they didn't. But I'm saying if they would have, that would have been a great way.
What about the Lexmas episode? The cold ending where he wanted to be
No,
senator.
see,
He
no,
wants
I think
power.
this is much
That was a
darker.
great fucking cold dark ending of that
I
fucking
think
episode. I love
I
that
think
episode.
the holy trinity of mid-season finales of this show are Lexmas, Shattered, and Bride.
And
Like
this is the only
I
one.
mean,
non-exclusively.
if only that the Jonathan's death was the mid season, that would have be the fucking on the top of the
I know.
fucking list. I know, I agree. I completely agree with you. That would have been a great fucking
I mean, if they
mid-season
would have
break.
ended that,
But I
can
think
you
they couldn't
imagine
do
you're
it.
like Jonathan just
But I
died?
feel like
Like,
that the writers of the show could not do that for the mid-season because they wanted to get because they weren't at the 100th episode and they wanted to do the Jonathan's death in the 100th episode. They thought it would be a perfect round number.
they should have literally started the season. They should have started the season like around like August or
And
something.
also,
Yeah.
they mentioned many times on Talkville, even when they were covering that episode, that John Schneider knew he was going to die at the at this point in the later in the season, and he was very upset about that too.
Well, at least you know, like you got to 100 episodes of Smallville. That's how
Yeah.
I'd say. Look
John
at
Schneider was
that.
pissed. He was pissed when he found out that his character was gonna bite the dust
But
and
I
later in
mean, it's
season 5.
like the showrunner said, that's common. It happens. Jonathan
I
Kent
know,
is
I,
not
I
dead in the
know, but
comic.
from his point of view, he was upset because he really loved playing that character and he loved spending time with the cast because they were
Yeah,
practically family that they spent
yeah.
5 years on that show.
And which Jonathan said, like his kid has autism, and so he
Yeah, he
said,
talked
and so
about
he
that
was
too.
like, so he said, it's being Superman is kind of like having autism,
Yeah, it's kind of like
and
having a
so
disability. You're an outcast. You're not like everybody else, and you can't do the things you that normal people do because you're different. That kind of
which
resembles from Clark's character in the show.
if you're watching Man of Steel, that makes that short bus really much more funnier.
Well,
Like literally, his
on
parents
Oh
are
that
like,
God,
he
you had to
has a
go for the short
disability,
bus.
so
You had to
he's on
go
the
for the
short
short
bus.
bus joke.
I'm like, to be
on
about
that
just think,
pleasant note, we will sign off. But what did you all think of these episodes? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to
oh,
read what you have to say.
Ryan,
Yes.
question. Well, let me ask you this: what are you thinking that's going to happen going forward in the season? Like your opinion.
Uh, honestly, don't. I hate this part. I don't know because I'm so new to all this, but I'm so excited. Like I want to like leave myself some room to be like, what if, you know? So like
You
it's
could
hard.
guess. I mean, it doesn't make you
No,
wrong. You have
have
to.
fun. Have fun with
You
it.
can
Go
say
nuts.
Batman shows up and says, "I
We
got
don't care. We don't care if you're wrong. We just want to hear what you believe what will happen. Think outside the box. We brought this up a million times
Well,
before, but come on, dude.
we've
Just go
already
for it.
we've already seen Zod's wife, so I imagine that we're gonna see Zod at least one more time in some form or fashion. I think I think obviously Rosenbaum is gone, so we're not going to see him like fully, but I think Clark and Lex are going to meet somehow, some way. Like Clark's going to find that facility where where like Lex is all like strung up like this. Like something's going to happen there. So that those are my
What do
big
you think Lana's intentions now that she's back in the show? What do you think what her intentions are?
I think Lana is a puppet for Lex. Like
Ooh.
Lana is basically Lex's arms and legs because if you saw the rig that he was set up to, something happened in the Arctic to where like he's not moving all that much anymore.
That's interesting. Not a
Like
bad. Not
the
bad.
mind is going like the mind is like working overtime, but the flesh is like something
You
else.
think you're implying that Lana might be controlled by Lex?
Yes.
Not that's not bad. It's
I
not
mean,
that far
he
off.
literally got a text in the episode
I mean,
like, are
because
you in?
she showed up out of nowhere, out of the blue in this episode, and you're wondering what is she doing back? I mean, I know you want to come back for Chloe's wedding, but you left for a reason and never to be come back ever again. So there must be a reason why she's back in the first place.
Lex has something on her. That's all I'm gonna leave it at. But pass it off to all of you guys. What do you think of these episodes? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to read what you have to say. Once again, I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. Uh, Next week is going to be a best of for the show because I'm not making these guys record on Thanksgiving Day. So we will return in 2 weeks and we will see from the aftermath of Bride and see what all happens with Doomsday. But Collins, what have you got coming up?
Well, Ryan will be doing a Thanksgiving watch along on Thanksgiving Day with Matt Wyatt and Jacob Martin. So go check them guys out. Thanksgiving too.
When
They said they're review.
when was I told about this?
They
He's
said they're
full of
doing that.
he's full of shit. Don't listen to him.
Thanksgiving. I'm like, ugh.
Thanks killing. What the fuck?
I suffered
Nice
through
shit.
the
I mean,
age of
the only
lust.
Thanksgiving you can watch the Eli Roth's Thanksgiving. That would be a
Nice
better
tits,
watch.
bitch. Gobble gobble, motherfucker.
I
I've never
suffered through
seen.
that
I
movie
still have not
once.
seen things. I've never
You
seen
have seen it. Haven't you?
Thanksgiving. No, I have not. I swear to
Oh
God.
God, I forgot. Like we did it with everybody but
But me.
Like Blacktastic Media was just there shaking his head the whole time, and like he was my spirit animal that whole stream.
Now I gotta find that.
Thank
Now I gotta find that video and watch that along. Watch the
Oh,
reaction.
okay. Well, guess what? This Wednesday on Ryan's channel, Thanksgiving, starring Matt Wyatt as the Watch. No, no. We're not gonna do. I'm not gonna make him do that. But yeah. If we yeah, but yeah, you can find me at 3D Movie Cinema, YouTube.com, and yeah, that's about it. I've been doing the Die Hard series for fun. I have not seen Gladiator 2. I just dropped Gladiator 1. I am curious to know Matt Wyatt's thoughts on Gladiator 2.
Oh, you can check out on my channel that it's up.
I'm not gonna watch that video.
Then there you go. Then you'll never know.
I'll just ask you, did you like it better than the first
No.
one? Okay, well that right there. All
The
right, you didn't
first
like
movie is
it.
better. That's still better, dude. There's no way you're gonna beat the first one. No way
I
you're
mean,
gonna do
Top
it.
Gun Maverick is better than Top Gun.
That's true. That's one of the sequels
Top-
that truly surpassed, but it's really Scott. I mean, he's because for the past decade he's put out a lot of stinker movies, and this is in Gladiator 2, even though I enjoyed it, but you're not gonna top the first one. The first one was just special.
Terminator 2 has top Terminator 1.
It topped Terminator 1. I love the first one. It's a fucking
Dark Knight
masterpiece.
is
It
better
is a
than Batman
it is a masterpiece. I love the first Terminator movie, and I will always cherish that film no matter what. That what started it all. But T2, it's all
Oh yeah.
simpatico that it's the best one. Like
I
you
love
can't
Terminator
beat
1,
that.
and that is my
It
favorite.
was just
But
it literally
Terminator
felt
2
like
is
it was
better.
a if you watch a double feature, it literally is a beginning, middle, and end to that story.
Well,
You know,
subscribe to all of these guys. Links in the description. Go do that thing. As far as this channel goes, I've got two special series coming up in the works. In the month of December, I'm going to be reviewing all the Lion King movies in honor of Mufasa, and then I'll be reviewing all of the Universal Wolfman films. And Kyle Flett from Flett's Pop Culture 13 will be joining me to review The Wolfman, the original, with Lon Chaney Jr. That's going to be coming down the road very soon, so stay tuned for that.
Oh yeah,
But
and
for
well, sorry if I'm cutting you off, but one thing I want to mention that I am planning on seeing two movies this Thursday on Thanksgiving Day because my brother and I we're gonna go see Wicked, we're gonna see Moana 2. I'm excited to see both movies on the same day for a great double feature on Thanksgiving Day, and we're still gonna continue that the Fridays of the Batman commentary marathon that we'll be doing every Friday, but probably not
yeah,
this Friday.
next week we'll be doing Batman 89. There's one point that I
Yeah,
forgot to
because
mention.
we just did the Batman 66,
That was
the Adam
awful. I
West
still
Batman. It was fun to watch, even with a group of us talking shit about the movie. But now we're gonna get into the good stuff of the Batman 89.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. Like Party Man, boys, Party Man.
Yeah, yeah.
For Matt White, for Jacob Collins, my name is Ryan Cam. We wish you all a very happy and healthy holiday. You all take care. For truth, for justice, for the American way, always hold on to Smallville. Happy Turkey Day.